I'ma survive. I'ma survive.
Niner Empire. Welcome to the Fresh Perspective Podcast. Now here's your host, Jerry Fresh.
Hey, what's up, Niner Empire? Jerry Fresh here with another Fresh Perspective podcast, a special edition Fresh Perspective podcast. I have a special guest for you guys. It's Lori Manalo. I hope I got that last name just right for you, Lori. I wanted to bring her on to tell her story. Now, if you don't know who Lori is, she is actually one of the moderators inside of our live chat. So you're going to see Lori on there all the time. Blue will be her name, and she'll have a little wrench along with Russo. They do an awesome job. I wanted to get Lori on here to talk about how she became a 49er fan, and then she's also going to dive into how she got her Facebook group, Niner Faithful, started. So without further ado, Lori, take it away.
Well, Jerry, I have to be honest. As a young girl, I was not a football fan. I cheerleaded for my brothers who played PAL football, but I didn't understand it and I didn't watch it. So it wasn't till 1992 when I met my husband that I became a Niner fan. When I met him, he was a huge Niner fan, watched football faithfully on Sundays or any game day. And so I knew that if I was going to be watching football, I needed to learn it. So I asked him to teach me, and he did. After that, our collection grew, and so did my wardrobe. So it's become a passion of mine. Since 1992, I've been a faithful Jerry.
You're listening to the Fresh Perspective podcast with Jerry Fresh and Lori Manalo. Now, in 2008, Lori, that's when things really started to pop off for you. Go ahead and explain to the Niner Empire what happened.
In 2008, we became season ticket holders at Candlestick. I remember packing up the car on Friday nights just to drive to San Francisco, an hour and a half away, to attend the home games on Sunday. I'm so blessed to have the memories at Candlestick, and I know that so many members wish that they had those. It's just been a passion ever since. 28 years now, I've been a faithful.
Thank you so much for sharing that with us, Lori. I absolutely love hearing how each person became a 49er fan. It's so interesting. Everybody's way is different. You have people who were born into the faithful, to the Empire, and you have people who, like myself, I wasn't interested in football, but I had an older brother that gave me some apparel, some 49er apparel, and I found myself fighting with other people, not even knowing anything about the 49ers. They pretty much tried to come at me, and I stood up for the 49ers, and I've been a 49er fan, a faithful, a part of the Empire ever since. Now, Lori, I know you love the 49ers. I know you're sitting there cheering, but in this process, you came up with a Facebook group, Niner Faithful, and that is your new family, you call it. Just explain how that got started and explain how it became your family.
Well, a friend of mine invited me to a Niner group in 2016. It was the first Niner group that I had ever followed on Facebook, and I was so happy. I found a place where I could rep my gear, show off my memorabilia, and just be around other Niner fans, to watch the games with or whatever the case. And it was good. It was good for about 3 months, and then I started getting harassed. I had members message me telling me I was looking for attention. Some were leaving rude comments on my pictures. But then I had a lot of support. And at one point, one of the admins messaged me and told me that they were going to start monitoring my post and limit what I could post in the group because my posts were taking up the newsfeed. I simply asked them to tell the members that were complaining just to block me, and they got an attitude. So me being the smartass that I am, I go back into the group, I post a selfie, and I put, I rep 24/7, 365 days a year, with or without your approval. And about 2 minutes later, I got a message from the admin that they were banning me from the group. I was mad. I was confused because it was a Niner fan page and I got kicked out for repping too hard. And then I wanted to get even. So I hit up Johnny, who is my admin, and I said, Johnny, I want to start my own Niner group, but I want to run it this way. And he was like, well, what do you have in mind? And I said, I want it to be family oriented. I want it to be respectful. I don't want no disrespect, no drama, no politics. I want it to be a family. So immediately I brought Johnny in as an admin, and he went in and he set up all of my settings for me in the group. And then he went back into the group that banned me and started recruiting the members. And I can't even tell you, Jerry, how many messages I received with people that were so angry that I was kicked out for representing the Niners. And so it's just been a beautiful thing to watch, and I couldn't be more blessed.
You're listening to the Fresh Perspective Podcast with Jerry Fresh and Lori Manalo. Now, wait a minute. So you got kicked out of a group because, and I'll let you get back to it, because you were repping for the 49ers too much? Now, come on, Niner Empire. How come every time somebody tries to step up and do something and cheer, we always got to put regulations on them? Now, I don't want to start preaching, so I'm going to let that alone. But you explained that somebody helped you. Johnny helped you out. You know, that's awesome. You know, tell me a little bit more about Johnny and how he helped you to get your Facebook group, Niner Faithful, started.
I need to give Johnny a huge shout out for being my right-hand man since the beginning. Without Johnny's help to get Niner Faithful started, I would not have this group. And it was with his help that it's grown as much as it has.
And kudos to you, Johnny, for helping Lori out. I think that's so awesome. And I think it's a great example of how we should treat everyone in life. But speaking particularly to the Niner Empire, we should have each other's backs. And if somebody is bullying or if somebody is being outcasted because they're cheering too much or they're doing something that, let's be reasonable. When we have these groups set up, we should all be able to go on there and post what we want to post as long as it's not degrading to anyone and it's appropriate. It has good morality, but you shouldn't be taken down because you are posting too much support for your team. So, Lori, getting back to your Facebook group, Niner Faithful, I know you do giveaways and whatnot. So how'd that get started? Go ahead and explain to the Empire how all that got started for you.
So, Jerry, I was so impressed with the members being so respectful to each other in Niner Faithful that I wanted to give back. So what I did was I started to do giveaways. And it's been so rewarding to be able to give things away to not only members on the other side of the country, but to members in other countries. We have so many faithfuls in Niner Faithful from Sweden and Germany and Australia, Samoa, Fiji, Philippines, China. I mean, just from all over the world. And to see how happy they are when they win something, it's so rewarding to me, and I love to watch that.
You're listening to the Fresh Perspective Podcast with Jerry Fresh and Lori Manalo. Now, Lori, not only do you do giveaways for the adults, you also do some things for the kids. So go ahead and explain to the Empire what you do for the kiddos.
For the last 2 years, Niner Faithful has adopted 72 children for Christmas, and it's so beautiful to watch the fans and the members come together to make things possible for those kids less fortunate. Jerry, it's a beautiful thing. Niner Faithful gives back all the time. It's so family oriented, and it's just an amazing place to be.
That is so awesome to hear, Lori, just to hear how you're giving back and helping those kids. It's just amazing to hear. And I'm thankful to you for doing that. Now, my mom, when she was living and when we were younger, she raised us, she taught us to be kind and generous to others. And we never adopted anyone to our family, but I'll tell you what, even if we lived in like a 2-bedroom apartment, my mom would take in our relatives that didn't have a place to stay or whatnot. She constantly demonstrated generosity and love to us. So I love hearing that. And I'm so glad and thankful that you're doing that. Niner Empire, look what stuff we can do in the Empire. Anyways, Laura, to move on from that, I want to talk about some of the goals you set for your group, you know, how you run it and things like that. Go ahead and let the Empire know how you run the show.
Jerry, when I started Niner Faithful, I set goals for myself. The first thing I wanted to do was unite the fans. So I enforced the no politics in the group. I know that there's been discussion regarding Kaepernick. I've been asked if I'm a Kaepernick hater. I am not. I just don't believe that it belongs in a football group. So I do stand for what he believes in. I do support him, but it's not something that I want discussed in Niner Faithful.
You're listening to the Fresh Perspective Podcast with Jerry Fresh and Lori Manalo. How, Lori, in the political driven world that we live in, there's a lot of people with cruel intentions, with cruel agendas that will use anyone to move their view forward. And so I don't want to dig too deep into that, but I'd say it is best in certain arenas that we continue to speak about things that pertain to what we all came there for. And so I know at work, there's a lot of things that goes on. And if I had to come home and deal what I deal with at work, I would be upset. My home, my house is where I come to relax and to get away from all those things, work, politics, stuff like that. And I do believe that your group and so many other 49er faithful groups out there are a place to escape from all that. So you have every right to say, you know what? Not in here. Let's go ahead and talk about our Niners, the 5-0 Niners, soon to be 6-0 Niners. Lori, continue.
Another goal that I set for myself was my apparel release. I wanted to offer merchandise to members all over the world and at the same time use the profits to fund Niner Faithful for merchandise and shipping costs. And it's been so successful. The members are so supportive. They know what the cause is for and they just support me 100%. I'm so blessed, Jerry, really.
Now, I hear that one of your goals is trying to get actual players involved with the group. So go ahead and explain how all that came to pass.
Last year, I told the members that I wanted to find a player, whether it was a recent one or a former player, to join our family. And a few months later, Adrian Colbert's mom came to join us. And then shortly after that, here comes Ricky Waters. And I was like, oh my God, look, you guys. And then just recently, we had Marquise Goodwin's mom join. So I want to say thank you to all of them and welcome them into Niner Faithful. I hope that they're enjoying it and that they like what they see.
You're listening to the Fresh Perspective Podcast with Jerry Fresh and Lori Manalo. Now that is dope, Lori. I am so glad that we have 49er players, former players, and their family getting involved with Niner Faithful. That's a huge goal, and it's something to be proud of, and I'm sure they love it. You know, I'm in there all the time. I'm posting stuff, and I'm seeing other people post stuff, and it's amazing. Now, if you had one important goal, just a super goal at the top of the list, what would that be?
Jerry, my most important goal for Niner Faithful is to keep it family-oriented and respected. I know that there's so many groups out there that have trash talk, and I don't want Niner Faithful to ever turn into something like that. What we have here is special. We support each other. Our members pray for each other. We have each other's backs, and it's so amazing to watch the fans grow closer, not only as fans, but as family. And I couldn't be more prouder of the family that I've brought together, Jerry. It's such a huge blessing to me.
Right on, Lori. And when you said that it triggered something, this is the month of October, which is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And I want to honor those who have lost their lives, who are battling, and those who have overcome. I want to just tell you that you're not alone. There's people who are survivors, people who have family members that have lost their life that are out there. And in this empire, in this place, this podcast, and I'm sure Lori agrees, we stand with you, we pray for you, and today we honor you. So Lori, go ahead and let the Empire know how they can get involved with the group, how they can join the group.
So Jerry, if anybody wants to join Niner Faithful, we're only taking in maybe another 2,000 members. After that, we're closing the doors at 10,000, and Niner Faithful will become a VIP group, which means I will be shutting the doors down to new members, and the only way somebody will get in is if I have to remove somebody. So I suggest that if anybody wants to join, they do it ASAP. It's Niner Faithful on Facebook. That's hashtag Niner Faithful. And just know that once you request to join, we do go through your profile. We do look to see what groups you follow. If we're unable to see that you are a faithful through your profile, we will decline you. So know that once you get in, if you're able to get in, that you need to stay, because once you leave, you won't be coming back.
You're listening to the Fresh Perspective Podcast with Jerry Fresh and Lori Manalo. Now, Lori, I know you wanted to give some shout outs to your admin team and just let them know how much you appreciate what they've been doing for you. So go ahead, take it away.
I've created the most wonderful admin team that I could ever imagine. I can literally walk away from the group for a couple of days and know that the admins got it under control. They work so well together, Jerry, and it's just amazing that they run this group as tight of a ship that I do. And I'm so blessed to have them on my team. Thank you to each and every one of you. I truly, truly appreciate you. Jerry, I also want to give a shout out to you. Thank you for allowing me to tell my story, Jerry, and for giving me the opportunity to put Niner Faithful out there and let people know about our family. I'm very, very blessed to have met you, and I can't wait to watch both you and Russo grow together as well, and apart. So it's going to be interesting. Just know that you always have a platform in Niner Faithful.
No, thank you, Lori. You know, I'm sure Russo is thankful as well. There's so many people that are listening, so many people out there who have been in situations where they were unable to express themselves and they were kicked to the curb, kicked out, not allowed to come back, whatever situation it may be. And they just left and they never went and they never built upon the talents and the dreams and the vision that they had. And to hear that you did that and that it's okay to do that, I believe that that is something that's worth listening to. And I thank you so much for sharing that and being a part of the Niner Empire. Now, Lori, if you can give a message out to the 49er Empire, just something from Lori to them, what would that be?
You know, continue to support the players, the team, the organization. Trust the process. Let's take 1 week at a time, 1 game at a time, and 1 win at a time. And be humble. Stay hungry, but be humble. It's football and anything can happen. So what we need to do is just enjoy the moment and trust the process. We have to have faith in our management and our coaches and in our players. So you guys, let's just go out there and get some wins.
You're listening to the Fresh Perspective Podcast with Jerry Fresh and Lori Manalo. Now, Lori, what would you say to the person that's listening that has a desire to start their own group, their own platform? They want to get out there, but they don't know how, or they don't believe that they have what it takes to do so. What would you say to that person?
I would tell anybody that wants to start their own platform, if you want to go out there and start a platform to rep the Niners, whether it's YouTube, a podcast, Facebook group, or whatever the case, I say go for it. I never thought in a million years that we would have 8,000 plus followers in Niner Faithful. And I can't tell you what a blessing it is to be able to want something so bad. And no matter what hurdles I had to go through, I got it. And you guys, it's just so rewarding to be able to have a positive influence on in such an ugly world. And you know, if I can do it, you guys can do it. Anyone can do it with the help and support of your family, your friends, your followers. The sky's the limit. So I say, set your boundaries, set your goals. It's not going to be easy. It's never going to be easy, but it has to be worth it. So go out there and just get it.
You've been listening to the Fresh Perspective Podcast with Jerry Fresh and special guest Lori Manalo. Lori, it's been an honor. It's been a privilege. Is there anything else you want to say before I let you go?
Jerry, I want to say thank you for having me on tonight and for all the listeners listening in. I appreciate you guys hanging out with us. You guys are awesome. Just keep doing what you're doing and keep repping that red and gold. Niners for life.
Thank you so much, Lori, for taking the time to come on the show and to hang out, to tell your story and to encourage those out there. Niner Empire, it's a great night tonight, and I'm just so happy to have you here. So thankful for Lori, so thankful for our team doing so well, going out there. We are really kicking butt. The 49ers are really doing good. A couple of things I'm going to address. There's a lot of stuff going, a lot of people, a lot of fans coming in with the hashtag stay humble. And I do agree with that in everything that you do. But I learned years ago as a younger man, I'm still a young man, but that one of the greatest enemies to humility is false humility. Like somebody who says, I'm woke, and you say, you can't say you're woke. You can't walk around and say you're humble and make everybody believe that you're humble. But I understand the intentions of the fan base. You don't want to get our hopes up. We don't want to go too far in saying we're just going to destroy people until it's every game. It's brick by brick. John Lynch, Kyle Shanahan, everybody's been saying, let's take it one game at a time. But Richard Sherman said something very revealing when he gave everyone that message. He said, we're going to get these W's. So he came out and pretty much said, listen, fan base, I'm talking directly to you. He talked directly to us and said, we're going to get these W's. But then he switched it and says, but as it pertains to what your message is to everyone else, stay humble. So what Richard Sherman was saying, just breaking that down real quick, was that inside the fan base, get hype, get excited, go out and enjoy yourself with other 49er fans. Don't start killing everybody's buzz. Don't start messing up everybody's good time because you want to stay humble and have false humility. Richard Sherman saying, inside, we all know that we're really good. Like inside of our network of people, inside the empire, we all know how good we are. But listen, we're going to be incognito with it. When we go outside of these doors, we're just going to just keep quiet and walk in. It's like, the guy in the room that's talking all the crap. Man, I'll punch you in the face. I'm the strongest guy in here. I'm doing all this kind of stuff. And you're looking at him like, yeah, right. But then there's a dude in the corner that ain't said nothing. He just got his hands folded. He's looking at you and you're like, but that dude in the back, I ain't gonna mess with him because he looks like he'll knock somebody out. Richard Sherman saying, let's carry around that image of somebody that's not going out just talking mess, not going out to everybody else talking mess, but behind the scenes where nobody sees us when we're all alone, we're training and we're looking good and we all know how good we are. It just comes to a point where you don't want to destroy everybody's faith in something. And as we're here with the Empire, let's get excited about what the 49ers are doing. Again, I have seen some social media content out there from the Empire that I'm like, whoa, that was strong. Like in its messages to other fan bases, its messages to media and things like that. And it's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. And I've done it before. I've called Nate Burleson a hater, which it seems like he's changed his tune. I've made videos that, respectfully, but it's basically saying, why are you hating? I've done that before. But I think there's a little bit more than just every time somebody posts something with confidence, that we say that they're too prideful and they have no humility. Humility is not defined as somebody who just sits on their hands and closes their mouth and doesn't do anything. That is not humility. That is not humility at all. A humble person is a person who can restrain the desire to go out into getting other people's face and just let their emotions fly out the window. And I know that that's not the definition from the Webster's Dictionary, but for this situation, for the content that we're talking about, that's what we're talking about doing. That's what we want to do, and want to continue to encourage each other to be excited. Also, another thing is, as 49er faithful, as 49er Empire, we need to continue to show support to other 49er Empire, whether it be artists, those who do social media, those who post on YouTube. I feel like with Lori's story, there's so many people who are at a competition or are competing with other 49er fans. What we need to have is unity in the Empire, because we're finally winning. And when the product on the field is doing good, it should reflect on the fan base. And it's sad that when we start winning, that's when the fan base decides, hey, you know what? I'm going to come in here and start having disunity and stuff like that. I'm going to come in here. Oh, you know what? Here's the thing. This is what I really want to talk about. There are 49er fans, and I commend you. You have been with the 49ers since you came out of your mother's womb, and you have not strayed away. And you've been cheering. And then all of a sudden, here comes all these new fans in that are saying they knew all along and you didn't see them there through the hard times. So there's some pride, some animosity, and some jealousy even that rises up in you. Like, why do you get to stand here right now and to say that you were a Niners fan? I've been here the whole time. Fam, don't let something like that cause you not to enjoy the victories and what we're doing right now. There's going to always be people who are coming in late. That's just, think of it as a sign that our 49ers are a good franchise that is making money. Now, you want the 49ers to grow. You want them to continue to develop and to be worldwide. So in order to continue to do that, they have to have new fans. And I'm sorry to say, but mainstream fans, those bandwagon fans, bring in a lot of money, and our franchise needs them as well. So you need to look at it from that perspective, that when people start jumping on the bandwagon, it is good for the 49ers as a franchise financially, and our fan base just grows. You're talking about who would get mad if you were in a war and people started joining your side that hadn't been there from the get-go, but they were willing just to go out there and fight, and you could train them up to lay down their lives? Who would get mad at that? You want people to come in. You want to recruit people. It's a good thing. Niner Empire, sometimes it's hard because, you know, even in like some of the chat rooms, I go into Rombo Sports, shout out to Rombo Sports, and to his live chat. And when there's a person in there from an opposing team that is talking crap to everybody else, all the 49ers supporters in there get along very well. Everybody's good because we're all focused on attacking the opposition. But as soon as those people, we have some, you know, Rombo's does some shows where sometimes the opposing people is very, very few in between, but there's no opposition. There's no haters in there. Guess what happens? All of a sudden, people start critiquing the callers, the 49er callers even more. It's just, I think it's just human nature to be very critical of each other. You live with somebody for a certain amount of years, you're going to be critical of them. You see somebody every day, you're going to be critical of them. But I'm just want to encourage everybody to get excited about what the Niners are doing. Before you bite and chew everybody's heads off, just get excited. There's going to be people who post, just a heads up, there's going to be people who post, and it's not going to be something that you like. It's not going to be something that's degrading, or, you know, we'll all agree. General population can usually look at, society can usually look and say, okay, that was inappropriate. But sometimes people post stuff that you just don't like. It's okay for you not to like things, but you don't have to always give your opinion and hate on it. Let's continue to bring joy into the Empire. Let's cheer. Let's get excited. Remember, players know people. And when we cheer, you're going to, like what Lori said, there's players' mothers who are part of the fan base, a part of the faithful group, her Facebook group. That means when there's posts on there, she reads those posts, whether it's encouraging or discouraging. That's his mom. So eventually she's going to talk to him, and they may have a conversation where she says, wow, the fan base is really out there encouraging you guys. And what does that player do? Marquise Goodwin goes back to the locker room and he says, my mom let me know that we have fans out there that are just so excited about what we're doing. And it continues to grow like that. The same way with the disunity. Hey, Marquise, I was on Niner Faithful and I saw fans arguing and saying that Jimmy G is not the quarterback of the future. I saw them saying that there's no number one receiver. They just at each other's throats. And then Marquise goes back and he's like, man, everything's good, but I'm hearing that our fans are not unified. They're fighting. What do we have to do? We're winning every game and they still are saying Jimmy G is not good enough. These fans are, what do they want? Now that's just hypothetical. What I'm saying is that what we do as a fan base, the energy that we put out there, whether it's positive or negative energy, is out there. And we have to continue to push out positive vibes into the atmosphere so that it will be contagious and it will get to our players. Get excited, 49er Empire. I'm excited. You're listening to Jerry Fresh with the Fresh Perspective podcast. I'm so happy to be recording this podcast, to be getting it done with. I like to get these out for late night podcast and just to chill and hang out with you guys. I think it's going really well. I want to encourage you guys to continue to share these podcasts with others. You know, if there's something that you would like to see, if there's something that's not clicking or working, whatever's happening that you're like, man, I don't want to share this. If that's the case, you go ahead and let me know. But if you have been here and you have enjoyed it, please do me a favor and share this. Get at least one person, everybody that's listening to the sound of my voice, get one person to show up to these podcasts and just to listen in. A lot of work goes into it. I know Lori will appreciate it, and I know that Russo would appreciate it, and the whole Niner Empire. So thank you guys for always liking, subscribing, commenting, and doing everything you do to support this podcast. Lori, thank you again. Girl, you did so well on this podcast, and I loved hearing your story. Continue to grow your brand. Continue to do what you have to do. Thank you for sharing. Nobody should be booted out because they're cheering too much. You know what I mean? We're not sitting in the library. We are in a forum or on Facebook. Let us go out and share and have fun. Speaking of having fun, you guys enjoy the rest of your night. You guys be safe, and I'll talk to you soon.
have been listening to the Fresh Perspective Podcast. Until next time, go Niners.